Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the ARL, the podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Nick.
How's it going today? Let's see, we're imbibing a little bit, quarantining, doing all that good stuff, even though we're right up on each other.
Okay, it's disinfectant. It's alcoholic.
So I think what we're going to talk about today is our very first investigation, which was actually just going to turn out to be a practice investigation at Assumption Records in Rivesville. Over the past few years, I've become pretty good friends with the owners because I'm a vinyl nerd. So I was in there a lot, and
You grew up with it.
yeah,
You grew
I
up
did
with
grow up with vinyl. So I was looking to start my collection and try to find all the albums that I grew up with. And so I was telling them that I had this idea of starting a paranormal investigation team, and they were all for it because they're a small business, and they were always looking to help other small businesses um, however they can. So they gave me and Nick the opportunity to come in and basically practice, try to get a feel for how. If you watch other paranormal teams, they kind of all got their own style. So
we were trying to find our little style.
yeah, we were trying to find our style and
try and get it down, like the questions, what to say to the camera,
and
different
the different equipment that we have to try to fine tune that, see what works and what doesn't.
We kind of got more equipment too as we went. The first one we only had like EVP and this little camera I bought that day from Walmart.
Yeah, $20 camera from Walmart, and an EMF detector, and our phone.
Yeah,
and
it worked.
It did. There was a lot of information that we got. If you go back to our YouTube channel and watch, or scroll down to on our Facebook page and see some of the clips from that we did from there, you'll see that we got more than we bargained for.
Yeah, for first one, it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, because when we went in to do the walkthrough, we didn't realize that they had the intact original confession booth that was still left in there. The room, they had a bunch of storage and stuff in there, but you could get into the confession booth. And when I first saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in there solo, because
that was the first thing he says. I'm doing that.
That's what you do. You want to do solo. That way you feel, you're putting yourself out there hoping to get a reaction from whatever's out there. And
you are the lead investigator, so you're more into the.
I kind of know a little bit more about it than Nick does, but Nick's learning, and
yeah, I'm just the one taking the pictures and recording you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's learning. He's starting to get in tune with what's going on around him. If you watch our last episode with the Flindration Tunnel, he was definitely getting a lot of reaction from whatever was there.
That's for another day and probably more alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, kind of, let's talk about like the, like history behind it, like the record store.
Well,
like what made you like really get into it, other than just being friends with them and like it being a church?
Well, what it was it used to be an old Catholic church, and I had read a book that basically said um, the best places to investigate are mass places of people gathering, like churches and bowling alleys and schools and stuff where there's always been a lot of people, a lot of activity, a lot of energy in and out of buildings and stuff like that. And being a Catholic church, they have a whole bunch of separate, beliefs than some of the other, um,
A little more into it,
yeah,
more
than other religions.
black and white.
Yeah, and they said um, they held funerals and stuff in that. So it kind of made sense to just go ahead and, hey, let's give it a try. And they let us come in. And
I think it was interesting that like when we're doing our first walkthrough, like when we actually started like recording and going through everything, it was quiet. Like they were closed, but like once you get into the back, like closer to where that
yeah,
confession booth was, it was quiet.
it was quiet. You didn't hear cars going by. There was no. They've said, because it's set vacant for 6 years. They said before they moved in, and they said they found it odd that in the sanctuary part there was no bugs, no rodents, nothing in there.
Yeah, until like couple months or like a year after they moved in, right? It's like they'd find like one, and that was it. Like
Yeah.
they didn't find barely any after they
So that
moved in.
makes what our security footage that we caught with all them orbs and stuff, the light anomalies, that makes that all the more interesting, because if there's no bugs, then what was that?
Yeah, and like they had like a couple windows, but they didn't open. They're like solid
Yeah.
like glass. Yeah.
And they kept a lot. They kept an original pew, and he said when they were doing some renovations in the back, where they actually live, they found, um, I don't know, you know more about than I do, the things that the priest
The
swings with the
incense burners,
incense
I can't
burners.
remember what they're actually
They
called.
found them in the walls, a lot of these artifacts. So, that's kind of interesting.
Hmm. They have like original like uh, stained glass too, like a door that had like the little like hand paintings onto the glass.
Hmm.
Yeah, I took a picture of that. It was like kind of back towards like their little office or whatever, like further to the back. But it was a good thing. I enjoyed doing it. Like once we actually started doing it, it was
Yeah, once the sun went down and it got dark back in there, that was, I mean, like we were getting EMF hits where there shouldn't have been EMF hits because it was all wood. There was no electric around,
mm-hmm,
so there would have been no up in the, what it looked like was looked like where maybe the choir would be standing to sing,
mm-hmm,
because it was in
the
levels.
pews.
Yeah, so why would there be EMF
Yeah,
spikes up in there? It's
yeah,
all it's all wooden.
yeah. We had that like laser pointer, that
Oh
grid
yeah, the
thing,
laser grid. Yeah, I forgot
and
about that.
we tried setting it up with like a little point and shoot camera we set to video. It like died before we could do anything with it, but
Hmm.
yeah, I remember we had that face up there because
Yeah, somebody let us borrow that, so it really wasn't ours.
hmm yeah, well, that was the only time we ever used it.
I actually did. I keep forgetting. I did buy one. I have one in my
Yeah,
backpack. So but anyway, so the time come to um, do my solo in the confession booth, which was crazy. Let me just say, I was not prepared for what was about to happen. Nick went to stand in the
I'll stay in the main lobby by the
yeah,
security
in the store
cameras.
part where the security cameras were. He was going to watch me while I go into the confession booth, and against my better judgment, You know, I set my EMF meter here because it's all wooden too, so there would be no reason there would be an EMF spike in there. So I set my EMF meter down on one side of the ledge, and then set my phone on the other side of the ledge, and then I had the camera pointing, which was, it really didn't do any good because we didn't have any light or
It
nothing
was
with it.
like dark. You could
But
barely even see it in front
yeah,
of you.
so I mean, chalk that up for learning, but it would have been nice to get it on camera. But against my better judgment, I got down on the kneeling pad and said, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." I did the whole spiel,
A little exaggerated,
and
but
I did some provoking, saying that I needed some advice, that um, my life was going downhill with drugs and all this stuff. And then my EMF meter starts going off, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And I kept thinking to myself, if this confession door, the little confession door in the
the
middle of the
visor.
opens, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I'm like, all right, so the EMF meter is just going off, off, won't stop, won't stop. And then finally it kind of dies down, and then you hear
It was
what
like
would be the
grinding,
little
like
door
thud.
opening. Yeah, it was like a thud. And then I'm looking, and it's like, that fucking door just opened. It's open. Because we made sure before we went in to close it, because I wanted to be like, I want to figure out if this is going to open.
Yeah, you asked me like slam it shut because it was old. So it was like swollen wood.
Yeah, it would have taken some force, because after I yelled for him to come back to me to try to close it, and he couldn't even close it, so it would have had to have taken some force to open it.
Yeah, because I was on the other side of the church, so like I heard you yelling. You were like starting to walk back, and it was like pitch black. I thought you got hurt or something.
I was
You know?
freaking out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That was something else. But on a side note, when he went back to the lobby to watch, I stood there in the doorway. I was like, should I close this door? Should I leave it open? Should I close this door? Should I leave it open? And I said to myself, well, I'm going to go ahead and close it. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And when I came out of the confession booth to go yell for Nick, that door was open.
Mm.
So maybe that was, I didn't hear that door open. Maybe because of the EMF meter going off.
Mm.
But that was definitely another interesting thing that happened. Did you happen to notice on the security camera, like about that time, if any orb had went back through
I
there,
was
or?
kind of sitting there looking at. There's like 4 security cameras. There's two for outside, like the back of the church and the front towards like the main entrance. And then there was one for like the lobby where I was in. Then there was one like into the warehouse. You couldn't see that room by the conventional booth where you were.
Right.
Because there's like those. They had like large like shelves. That they held all their stock. But I was sitting there kind of looking at them. I didn't see nothing. I mean, we looked back and we found that security footage.
Yeah, but he didn't give me.
He didn't give you the whole
He didn't
thing.
give me, because I told him I wanted the whole time that I was there, but he only gave me about an hour's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But even what he gave me had a lot of stuff in it. So I really, I was, I was just appreciative of them letting me do it. It didn't really matter to me. He can give me whatever he wanted. He didn't have to give me anything.
Yeah, he could have just
So
said no.
he
It's
offered that
my
up, and I was
property.
like, cool, because I really wasn't expecting that. So what we got was what we got, and we got some interesting light anomalies, especially the one that really intrigued me was after we gathered up all our stuff and left
That was
because
the one on the pool table.
yeah, we had our stuff on the pool table, and then we left, and you could see this orb come down and around the pool table, like curved down the pool table, stop. It stopped, and then went back up that way.
Yeah, it kind of came down and like kind of like did like a quick curve,
Yeah, it was like, okay, these guys are gone. Okay, that's basically
making sure you left.
yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I think it was good for our first one. You know, I mean,
absolutely for what we got for a practice run,
hmm
um, that really got my engine revving. So I'm like, yeah, I want to do this all the time now, because if we're just going to get stuff like that on a not even really trying,
hmm
imagine what we're going to get when we're actually doing it.
yeah, yeah. We're kind of just screwing around at first
Yeah,
time around. Like I said, we're no plan at all. We're like, okay, this is the
yeah, we
place. You
didn't have a
know,
plan. We were just winging it.
yeah. I didn't even charge my camera the entire way, so it was like dead before we could even start. You know, but yeah, it was really good. It kind of set the bar pretty high too
It really did.
for all the ones we did afterwards. It kind of set that standard. Like this is what we need. This is real. Everything below that is nothing.
Yeah, which in our next episode that would lead us into the Moose Lodge, which was
Moose Lodge was good. I gotta say, the Moose Lodge was one of my favorite ones.
it was very interesting. But again, if you're interested in watching some good raw paranormal investigations, um, check out our YouTube channel and look up our. It would be our premiere episode, the Assumption Records. I call it the pilot episode because it was our very first one. So if you want to head on over, check it out, and have have a have a laugh or two at me, because I have no idea what we were what I was doing. Nick was just following me around with a camera.
I yeah, I was just trying to fill in the time. Like I didn't really know what to do. You had me trying to do a solo.
Yeah, you did do a solo in that.
Yeah, and like he had like a sound booth, and he tried to have me doing it. I didn't know what to say. I was just kind of, kind of dogging on it really about being in church and being changed into a, rock and roll music
Right.
store. Like that's really going out there having like Black Sabbath and Metallica albums everywhere.
Especially Black Sabbath back then when it was still a church. I'm sure they didn't like it.
Yeah, no, definitely worth a look at it. It was good. And then turn around and look at the newer stuff we've done. You can see that.
You can see the progression where we're getting better at it, and uh, it's good to see that we are getting better at it, because if at some point we catch lightning in a bottle and we want to do this for a living, make money at it, you know, it's good to already have that foundation.
Mm,
All right, so that'll about wrap it up for this edition. Like I said, get on Facebook and YouTube, and if you want to check out his Instagram, let him know what your Instagram is. And
it's Motley Mutt, Motley